Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 25th of August 2018, and we're down here in the marina the day before the running of the Torquay Offshore Powerboat Race. It's a beautiful morning here, and the boats are all gathered here in the marina, ready for scrutineering, pre-race preparation. So we'll go and see if we can find some of the teams. I've just spotted Dry Martini there in the background. Mike Pete looking very confident here, ready for the quick trip round to the fuel barge.
The expensive trip round to the fuel barge, we like to call it.
Okay, well,
it has to be done.
Well, somehow or other I seem to have found myself on board Dry Martini as Mike's ready to fire her up. Exciting moment.
Hopefully we don't drive into the side of another boat.
Well, I know we're in very capable hands here. So,
Famous
there we go. Fuel pumps are whirring. And we'll have contact. Here we go. Here we go. Absolutely brilliant. Jeff Hall here at the back. We'll have a word with him in a minute. Very satisfying sound of these beautiful V8s, prepared to perfection by the two Mikes, Mike Montoff and Mike Pete. As we exit the marina to the fuel barge. And take a look at some of the other race boats here. A69 being raced by Richard Carr and his team, Warpath, all the way from the United States, Ollie Finholt, Glenn Chisroy. Great team, and lean manufacturing, going lean. Now that is something else, ladies and gentlemen. That boat is a possible major contender for the winning honours. 4 FPT diesels. Yeah. You're clear. Awesome. Awesome mile to the gallon. There you are, ladies and gentlemen. We got 320 UK imperial gallons of fuel on board, or will do, when we filled up. So this is indeed an iconic moment to be sitting in the navigator's seat of Dry Martini. What a privilege. So this is where the petrol goes in. How many gallons are you taking on, Mike?
Well, this is really just topping up. This is how many gallons we used to come from pool to here.
Well, we're up to...
how many litres, rather. So we're at 88 litres per side so far. So that was our little trip over from pool.
Yeah. That's quite a consumption. There's the meter ticking away. That is the most beautiful line of the Magnum, Ian Toll's beautifully restored boat. Okay, here we go. Fueled up to the brim. So here we are, back in the marina. We have the Hendricks 55 there, A55. Obviously just going through scrutineering. Warpath Resplendent. As we manoeuvre round back to our berth. Right. Right, ladies and gentlemen, just been joined by the two Mikes. Thank you so much for the ride round to the fuel pontoon. Sorry it cost you so much. Mike Bontoff, how do you feel about the race on Sunday?
Pretty good so far. We don't exactly know what the forecast is how it's going to work out weather-wise, but we're ready for it. It can't change it, so we're here for a good time.
Now, the weather forecast is set for wind and rain, I gather.
Wind and rain.
Yeah.
Is it westerly, northwesterly now?
Yeah, I think if we're lucky though, it may not be as bad first thing, and if we could get to Torquay, then have the wind behind us on the way back, it may not be so rough, but
right.
Yeah, it's not going to be good.
But you've been doing some work on the engines during the winter period, and so you're fully prepared now?
Yeah, well actually, because it's a multi-series championship this year, we've actually been doing work between the races. Some of it was precautionary and some of it was a surprise, but yeah, we've done quite a lot of work on the boat during the course of the season, and we did quite a lot before the season. Yep.
So Mike, tell us where you are in the standings for the Harmsworth Trophy.
Well, we're lying third overall currently on points behind Warpath and Silverline.
Right.
We're very close in points to Silverline. And we are where we are because of reliability, he says, knocking wood, because we're not the fastest boat. So.
Well, look, you're a great team. We wish you well for Sunday. This is a staggeringly beautiful boat, 38 foot.
35, actually.
35 foot, I got that wrong, yes. Okay. Well, here she is, and thank you to the two Mikes, and we'll look forward to welcoming you over the finish line.
Thank you very much.
Well, here's a boat from the past, Warlord. This boat I remember campaigning in the 1980s and 90s. So Warlord, boat number 31. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined by Stuart Eyre now, and we're looking at Warlord. Stuart, when did you acquire the boat?
We got the boat about 4 or 5 years ago from John Fuller and Nick Gilly. They used it to plug swipe wipes. Since then, we've got it in two parts. We've got the hull and the deck in separate parts, so we've completely rebuilt the engine. We got it working 3 years ago, and we entered the Cowlpool Cows then. Unfortunately, we had an engine failure during that one, so now we've had a bit more re-engineering, and we're in the Cowlpool Cows again this year.
Fantastic. Just remind us what the hull is.
Oh, yep, this is the Steve Baker Phantom 31.
And that was a classic hull, if ever there was one. And the engine unit here.
So now we're running a Mercury 525.
Ah, stunning.
On a Bravo X drive.
Yeah, that's a supercharged engine. Or is it naturally aspirated?
Naturally.
EFI. Yeah, great. So what sort of speeds are you getting out of her?
We only put her in the water for the first time yesterday.
Oh, brilliant.
We haven't had a chance to change the prop, so we're running low 60s at the moment.
Yeah.
We think we're on the wrong propeller and the wrong drive height at the moment, so hopefully for the pool race in a couple of weeks' time we'll have the right ones of those, but we're running low 60s at the moment.
Okay, well congratulations on getting here. Who's your crew today, tomorrow?
Lawrence Philp is throttles and I'm driving.
Excellent. Right, well we wish you a safe race and look forward to seeing you coming across the finish line. Thank you, Stuart Eyre.
Thank you.
Well, we're just in time for the photo call here, and Dorian's always up for a photograph and hopefully an interview as well. So they're the two intrepid pilots of Blastoff. So all the crew's equipment here on the deck, ready for scrutineering. Quick word for the camera, Dorian. You're always happy to be interviewed. Have you been scrutineered?
Yes, we've been scrutineered. As you see from the layout and everything else, we've passed with flying colours. We're now certified and ready to race, and we're really looking forward to this one because it's going to suit us a little bit more because it's going to be a bit lumpy, so therefore the skill factor is going to come into it a bit more, and we've got a terrific team with Will.
Yeah, where's Will? Come here and say hello, Will. Yeah, Will.
Will here, mechanic extraordinaire.
So you get a bit closer together and get you both in. Right, okay. So Will, how are you feeling about the race for Sunday?
Good. We'll be. We've tested everything we can test on the boat. She's had her issues, but we're pretty much A1 now.
Well, the boat's looking stunning. You're a very accomplished crew, very experienced. So if anyone's going to come home over the winning line, it's got to be you two.
Well, we hope to come over the line at the end and finish the race, but as they say, to finish first you must finish. So that's our plan, is to get the finish in, and we'll see where everybody else is at the end.
Thank you. Very wise words from Dorian Griffith.
Thanks very much. Thank you very much, David.
Thanks, boys. So, UIM world record holder, Dorian Griffith and Will Stevens, two great competitors. Well, A69, the stunning lines of this cougar, immaculately prepared. This is the mount of Richard Carr and James Sinclair in the race tomorrow. We just got in the background there the Magnum firing up with Ian Toll. This race, they are not being joined by Steve Curtis in the Cougar, as Steve is racing in the USA currently. Another major contender for line honours tomorrow, B69 Warpath. What a magnificent boat this is. We'll try and find Ollie Finhold, the owner-driver, and Glenn Chisroy for an interview later.
You're right there when you want to get
Meticulous preparation of these beautiful engines with the staggered installation, which helps with the balance of the boat. Okay, so this is the business part of the boat, where the crew of Ollie Finhold, Glenn Chisroy, and none other than Gordon Compton, a veteran of marathon racing. In fact, a very experienced crew all round. We'll look forward to interviewing them in a few minutes. Well, as we watch the very pretty Magnum 27 exiting the marina, we are now alongside A52, this magnificent Outer Limits, powered by no less than 4 FPT diesels. What a magnificent craft. So the FPT livery on the stern here signifies the engine installation. We'll try and get a look under those engine hatches at some time. So this boat is running a 4-man crew. Nico, who is a stalwart from the 2008 Round Britain Powerboat Race, where we first met him, is the driver. And he has been actively campaigning this boat for the last couple of years or so. It should stand a very good chance of getting line honours in the race tomorrow, particularly if it roughs up a bit as we are expecting. So boat A52, lean manufacturing and resourcing. So that's the solid throb of the very powerful Yanmar diesels in blast-off. Jeff Hall there, just sucking in the fumes. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we're joined now by the third member of the Dry Martini race team, Christian Toll. Christian, what's your position in the team?
I drive the boat.
Excellent. So how do you feel about it, bearing in mind the weather predictions for tomorrow, Sunday?
Yeah, well, it's certainly going to be a rough race, I think. At the moment, they're forecasting 4-7 south-southwest, so there's nowhere really to hide from that. It's certainly going to be bumpy. This boat is a rough water boat, but equally it's an old boat and we don't want to break it, so we certainly take it carefully.
Yes, Christian, just remind us, when was she built?
1973.
Brilliant.
Won the World Championships in 1974.
And she's a 35-foot?
35-foot cigarette.
Absolute classic. Well, Christian, we wish you well, all the team. We'll be rooting for Dry Martini in the race tomorrow.
Thank you, David.
Thank you. So there are the classic lines of Dry Martini. Thank you, Christian Toll, for telling us a bit about the boat. So we're looking now at Fugitive, boat number G130. This boat is a veteran of many powerboat races in the very capable hands of Francis Whitley. as we take a look at our own boat, Saber 2, from which we will be filming tomorrow, as well as doing safety on the start line. We're looking now at the Velocity 30, boat number N33, Mr. Noisy, and the crew are sitting there in anticipation. Well, we're joined now by Alan Goodwin, the driver, and Colleen Sweeney. I believe you're navigating tomorrow.
Yes.
Now, this is a really important job. Sorry, I nearly fell over your life jacket. Colleen, how do you feel about racing all the way down to Torquay?
We're doing pool.
Ah, you're doing the pool
we're
race.
doing
Thank
pool.
you for correcting me there.
Very excited. A bit nervous about the rough weather course if we're going to do that, but we'll be fine. We've got a good crew on board.
You have. And Alan, how many years have you been racing?
30.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Actually, this year is the 30th anniversary of our first race with Stuart Raven.
Well,
the late and great.
That indeed, I remember Stuart well, and of course you, as we were all racing in the production cruiser class then. So how does the old girl behave, this beautiful Velocity?
The boat we're talking about.
Talking about the boat, yes.
Yeah. Very well, very well. It's we've had the engines rebuilt yet again, a much sweeter cam, pulling a lot more revs, going well. We went to have a test this morning, we saw 80.
Brilliant.
Which is fast enough for me at my age.
And what sort of revs are you getting out of these?
We're getting close to 5,000 now, which is good. We only ever got a 4.3, 4.4 before.
Well, you couldn't have a more experienced driver than you, Alan. We wish you well with Colleen tomorrow. Who's the third man?
Tristan Ormiston.
Great.
Is the throttlesman.
Well, she's a beautiful boat and a great crew.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So we're looking now at boat number 606, not racing tomorrow, but this beautiful fairy swordsman was typical of the boats that were racing in the 1960s, and this boat was probably one of those that took part in the original Round Britain, the very first Round Britain race, but we will find out in a minute. Well, I've just caught sight of Tom Montgomery Swan in his beautifully prepared Mercury Racing, although the boat is actually entered under the name of Soonest Racing, with those magnificent 400 horsepower twin Verado supercharged outboards. And although we've been filming a lot of the marathon boats, we shouldn't forget that there is a very sizable fleet of Class 3 type boats entered for the pool race. That's Cows Pool Cows. Well, I've just caught sight of the stern end of Silverline and those magnificent six-bladed props which take the power of the engines, which are over 1,000 horsepower each. Drew Langdon, the owner and driver of Silverline, talking to his co-driver Miles Jennings, two extremely experienced racers. Silverline now is being lifted off the trailer for launching. This is quite a delicate job, getting it absolutely right. There's a lot of boat there and a lot of value in that boat as well, so Drew's looking on just to check everything's in order. Right, we're being treated to the sound now of Silverline firing up. Each of those engines is producing 1,000 horsepower. Incredible. So as Silverline gets ready to move, the Beaver Returns is being launched above her. This is a 25-foot Revenger hull with twin surface drives, and that boat is quick. Again, another historic boat from the 1980s and 90s of racing. Slightly bowed down angle there, and the anxious owner is coming roaring down the jetty just to check things out. Well, they've done it. Just. Is undertaking some engine testing here. They're obviously running the engines up, make sure that they're getting full revs. Well, my friend Markel from the Bass Kitchen taking an interest in the engines here. Well, we'll hopefully do a little interview with Marcus Hendricks, find out what the problem is. Gareth, we're down here alongside the Hendricks 55. What's your position in the team?
I've got the wheel again this year.
All right, driver.
Yeah,
okay.
driving.
So we've got a little problem with the boat at the moment.
Yeah, we got the got a few gremlins to be ironed out. The engines have been back to the States and had a few changes. And only went in last week, so got a man with the right kit plugged in and hopefully sorting it all out.
Yeah, because this race tomorrow is going to be your sort of race, isn't it? Slightly roughing up.
Yeah, I think the weather couldn't be worse really for this race, but it is what it is.
But that would suit the Hendricks 55, would it?
Yeah, I mean we got the 55. There's some big boats, the Cougar, and Miko's got the going lean out to limit. So I think it'll still be a competitive race, even if it is as rough as they're going to say, you know.
Well, thank you, Gareth. You're a very experienced driver, and we just hope that you get the drive that you deserve tomorrow.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best.
Good man.
Thanks,
Thank
David.
You. So they're running computer checks on the Rogue engine here. It really is a most impressive engine bay, and those beautiful 9-litre engines, when they're running well, produce getting on for 1,000 horsepower each. So Marcus talking to the scrutineers as they do their paperwork checks before the physical inspection of the boat. Well, the very solid sound of the Silverline engines there. She's going to be docking right alongside us. Warlord going out to do testing. So they're coming in safely into the marina berth here. Good afternoon, Drew.
Good afternoon.
How's it going?
Well, it went then. That's a good start.
It sounds
better, really.
nice, solid engines.
Yes, going the right way round. Perfect. Looking forward to it.
You're a serious racer, Drew. How are you feeling about the race tomorrow?
Perfect. Yeah, we're ready. We've been ready for over a week now, so all well tested. Nothing more to do. Just need to get out there and get on with it, really. So
that's what we like to hear. Thank you, Drew. We're joined by Miles Jennings now. Miles, just explain the setup of the crew in this boat.
Okay, well there's Drew and myself, Drew on throttles on the port side and me on the wheel and the helm on the starboard side. It's nice, compact, easy to operate console around us with all the controls, nice and easy in that respect. We've got nice small suspension seats, good visibility. Cameras on board in the engine bay all around, so we've got great visibility in that respect.
So you might say the ultimate racing machine.
Pretty much. Perhaps in an ideal world you might have 6 inches of shock movement on the seats rather than 3, but apart from that it's pretty good.
So, just to help the viewers, what is your main competition tomorrow, do you see?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to be between 2 boats, myself, probably between Lee across the way there, and then Richard Carr and the Cougar over there. Dependent upon conditions, but they're the 2 boats who are likely to suit conditions that are predicted.
And those conditions are predicted to be what?
Well, there's a sort of southerly, southwesterly wind up to 4/7, so quite a bit of breeze running with little protection.
Well, Miles, we know you're a very experienced competitor. We wish you well tomorrow and a safe race.
Thank you.
Thank you, Miles Jennings. So Drew and Miles get cosy down in the cockpit of this absolutely beautifully prepared boat, running a two-man crew, as opposed to Warpath running a three-man crew, and Richard Carr's Mount A69. I think they've probably got 4 people on board, although the 4th man will be there for the ride, whoever he is, lucky man. Engines are a true work of art. Right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been joined by Vincent Hendricks. Vincent, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Now tell me, what's your position in the team in this beautiful Hendricks 55?
So I'm sitting in the back seat doing the navigation, mostly probably looking after all the data, looking at the numbers, looking at where the others are, hopefully behind us.
Yes.
But yeah, kind of trying to supply Gareth and Dad with any information that they are trying to get. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to hopefully finishing this race for the first time in my 4 years that I've been trying.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very rough, I think, similar to 2 years ago. We broke a propeller.
Yes, I think we rescued you, if I remember.
Yes. Yeah. So hopefully it's going to be a safer race this time and a better one.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to being out there.
So you've got a bit of a gremlin in one of the engines at the moment, I gather. What's the problem?
To be honest, I think it's all technology issues rather than engineering issues. And we're not too sure ourselves. So we're going to have to go for a test run now.
Okay.
And see what's going to happen. Hopefully we'll take the power. Because right now we have a power issue, if anything, and that's going to be, well, the last test we can do.
Okay, well look, we do wish you well. Let's hope the test proves that the engines actually are working properly, and the best of luck tomorrow, Vincent and all the Hendricks team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So we're now looking at the engines in the Hendricks boat, which are Mercury Racing's own engine, as opposed to being built up out of a Chevy block. And each of these engines producing 1,400 horsepower approximately, detuned from 1,600, which is the current maximum I think these engines can be rated at, but then they have to run on higher octane fuel. So the advantage of the lower horsepower, lower octane. Marcus has now joined us. Marcus, have you sorted the gremlin yet?
Well, we have to find out on a test run. Theoretically, we have some things solved. So from that end, we are optimistic. But other than testing, we'll never find out. So let's have a go. Come back, see the mistakes that are written in the computer, and hopefully they are all minor and can be switched off.
Well, taking a positive note and assuming you're crossing the start line, this could be your sort of weather tomorrow for the race.
Well, I wish not, because it's not the healthiest of weathers. But then, yes, with a bigger boat, it's an easier life.
Yeah. Well, the boat's looking beautiful, well prepared, and you passed scrutineering, I gather.
We did so, yes.
Well done. Okay, Marcus. Well, we wish you and your team all the best for tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Very impressive layout here with the dash, the electronic instrumentation, as Marcus dons his Cinzano race outfit from that beautiful historical boat that took him to so many wins over the years. Well, I've just caught sight of the Hendricks boat going out. Let's hope they have sorted out the gremlin in that engine, or it might be both engines. They're certainly sounding sweet enough from here. Most impressive boat. And certainly a serious contender for line honours if the weather is rough tomorrow. Well, that is one mighty powerful engine. So vintage Torque, boat U69, potentially an extremely quick boat. How it will behave in the rough, only the driver will be able to tell us, and he's around somewhere. I've just said hello to him. That engine is quite an impressive bit of kit. In fact, that is V down there checking things out on the stern. So we're now looking at the engine of boat U69 vintage Torque. That is some engine, supercharged carburetted engine in the traditional form, and that boat is quick in the calm, but whether the conditions tomorrow will suit her remains to be seen.